Hey guys, in this video I'm going to show you how you can beat the Dinopithecus King, the boss of 3 difficulties on the Lost Island map. So the first thing I want to talk about is the stats of the boss. So in Gamma difficulty, the boss is going to have 375,000 health and 200 melee damage. The melee damage will not change between Gamma, Beta, and Alpha. The only thing that changes is the health. And this is kind of a boss fight where you're going to be, like, it's going to be a DPS race. It's going to see how fast you can kill the boss because you have 30 minutes to kill the boss. And obviously if you have your world difficulty in the game, your difficulty set to anything above the default, each extra level will increase this HP by 75,000 for Gamma. In Beta, the boss is going to have 600,000 HP, and for each level increase for your server's difficulty, it's going to go up an extra 135,000 HP. It's also going to have its melee damage increase with the level increase. And lastly, the alpha version of the boss is going to have 825,000 HP by default, and for every difficulty level increase, it's going to go up by 206,250, which is like a lot. It's almost like the half of the first boss again. Now, in terms of the engrams that you unlock, these are the tech engrams you will unlock for defeating the boss in the alpha difficulty. These are the engrams you will unlock for defeating the boss in beta difficulty. And these are the engrams you will unlock for beating the boss in Gamma difficulty, the easiest one. Okay, so let's talk about the tribute to start the boss fight. So starting off with the Gamma difficulty, the easiest one, these are the items and the tribute that you're going to need to be able to start the fight. For the Beta difficulty, these are the items that you're going to need to start the fight. And finally, for the Alpha difficulty, these are the items that you're going to need to begin the fight. So when you begin this fight, you obviously have a 30-minute timer that you can see at the top of your screen. Once you get to this area over here, you'll see the boss there is just chilling on top of that cliff there in the distance. It won't actually come down unless you get like close enough or if you shoot it. I suggest shooting it because when you actually aggro it and it jumps on you, it has a really bad effect of actually throwing you off your mount for like 1 second, and that's not something you want to do during a boss fight. So when the boss does come down, he will stay here for a bit, and he will also summon other dinos to help him. He will summon, like, the Dinopithecus on the floor. There will be Dinopithecus with these Sonomacrops that are flying in the air throwing poo at everything. They'll also drop grenades so frequently, and there'll also be a Dinopithecus, well, actually 2 Dinopithecus riding Amargasauruses, which you should actually focus on quite early because they place down those fire kind of needles in the ground that burn you, and even though you're on a mount, you can actually take fire damage and die from it. And I'm not talking about your dino, I'm talking about your actual physical character, so be careful. You can actually die while you're riding a dino, and that obviously kind of makes you lose the whole fight. After a certain amount of time after fighting the Dinopithecus King, he will actually jump into the air and jump onto one of the trees or the pillars in the distance away from where you can actually reach him, and he will throw giant like balls of poo at your dinos that will do a little bit of damage, and then he will jump down and he will like do a shatter effect on your dinos. Make sure he doesn't jump on you because, like I said, if he jumps on you, he will dismount you for a second, and if your dinos are all on aggressive running around, it's very hard to get back onto one of them. After about 30 seconds, the boss will land back on the ground so that you can reach him and start fighting him again. My general strategy for this is every time you see the Amargasauruses, send your dinos after them so that the Amargasaurus dies as quickly as possible so that it doesn't do unnecessary burn damage, killing any players who are on dinos stuck in those burning needles, because it's really annoying. You should bring health med brews as well to heal in case you are burning to death and you need to stay alive. Apart from that, all you just need is dinos with good saddles and enough damage to kind of do damage to the boss while he's on the ground before he jumps away. You literally only have 30 minutes to do this fight, so it's quite a little bit of a rush depending on your dinos and how their stats are. As you can tell from what you've been watching, I have an army of 19 T-Rexes and 1 U-Tyrannus for its Courage Roar that can boost the damage of my other dinosaurs by 25% and reduce the damage they take by 20%. But honestly, the biggest damage you'll be taking here are from the Dinopithecus with the Cinemacrops that throw grenades down at your dinos that can do quite hectic damage over time, but really, it's not too crazy in terms of the damage you take. It's more about actually the damage you dish out. So you want like things, dinosaurs like the Rexes, Allosauruses, Even the new Dinopithecus, kind of like if you have an army of those and you use their special bonus where they can do the bleed damage on the boss, it's great maybe because when the boss is like up on those, like, those rocks and those pillars where you can't reach him, he can still be taking bleeding damage so that you can, keep up your damage if you are trying to damage the boss in time before the arena timer ends. As you can see, we're doing this on Gamma, so it's not too difficult. You can also bring an Amargasaurus, one of those new dinos in the Lost Island map that can actually use these like blue kind of spikes that can actually debuff the armor of an enemy, like the boss, for example, so it can actually make the boss take extra damage so that your dinos can do a ton more damage. So you have the UT and an Amargasaurus just debuffing the boss. Well, actually, one is like boosting your dinos and the other one is debuffing the boss, and you can do quite a bit of damage that way too if you're trying to really, get this boss down as fast as possible in the alpha difficulty. Now, the rewards for defeating the Dinopithecus King will give you a Dinopithecus King flag, a Dinopithecus King trophy, and element. You will get 60 element for defeating the boss in Gamma, 165 for Beta, and 330 element for defeating the boss in Alpha. You will also get a special Dinopithecus costume for defeating the boss in Alpha as well. And that's everything I have to teach you about the Dinopithecus King in Ark Lost Islands map. I hope you guys enjoyed, and thank you so much for watching.